This is the week to get a lot of stuff done, to put in all that hard work and energy, especially as we are receiving a lot of psychic and intuitive messages to guide us in creating what it is that we want in our physical material realities. Just be careful of anything that you may want to see that's not there, of any illusions or any delusions. Hey everyone, it's Christine. Welcome to this week's weekly energy forecast for the last week of May 27th through June 2nd. When I was marinating on these energies, I got the song booming and I was hearing this so loudly. I Can See Clearly Now by Johnny Nash, a song from 1972, and I'll link it down below simply for reference. But that kept booming over and over. So there are some things this week where you may not be understanding, receiving, or hearing in a clear manner, even though you think you are. And I feel like a lot of the spiritual guidance we are going to be receiving is going to help elucidate that, to perhaps break apart any illusions, any delusions, and any lack of clarity that is essentially fogging our view. How are you all doing this week? Check in. Another month has gone by. I almost feel like we are simply checking off each month super quickly, as though 2024 is another page in the book of humanity and we're just flipping the pages. This year is going by incredibly fast and it seems like it has been filled with a lot of learning lessons, almost as if the universe is saying humanity is behind on their final exams. Well, we're going to cram it in here. Comment down below. Are you guys feeling this way? What has been going on for you? I feel like, simply put, this week, and even just where we may be in our own journeys and what is coming up, we may be realizing or overcoming some form of adversity, again, lack of clarity, confusion, and maybe feel like some things weren't resolved. So happy birthday, my Geminis. We're going to dive straight in to the astrology. So on May 27th, Saturn is forming a superior sextile to Mercury in Taurus. And Mercury has reception here in Pisces, but it's not the positive kind that we want to see because Mercury is in its detriment and fall in Pisces, so it's struggling a bit. Remember, the chart tells us about the planetary relationships through the aspects, but it doesn't tell us anything about the conditions of the planets or luminaries. So generally, I feel like this alignment would provide a boost in self-discipline, getting work done, completing tasks, catching up on any research, writings, investigations, anything that has not been completed, anything that's missing or pending resolution, learning, reading, writing, teaching as well, any mercurial themes. But because of Mercury's debility here and its reception to Pisces, and as I say that, my dog is slurping water really quickly, so think of that. That's Mercury. I feel like there could also be confusion as to what you need to do. There could be a lack of clarity here, an ability to get lost in procrastination, indulgence, escapism, trying to find an easy way out, or ignoring responsibilities. Mercury may be feeling like, oh, I know I have to deliver this message, but let's play first, let's have some fun, and even may not realize, well, where is the message going to? To who is this being directed? So this transit really highlights the importance of grounding yourself in the present day reality. And I feel like one solution here that could offer this is to make sure you're comfortable in a physical sense. In other words, make sure you've eaten, make sure that any form of procrastination is taken care of. So if you have to do the dishes because you're watching them and you can't get your work done, take care of all those mindless little tasks that may be gnawing away at your attention so that you have everything set to go. Same thing for tools. If you are trying to get anything completed when it comes to communications, get your tools needed, your computer, iPad, phone, writing instruments, paper, whatever it is, get everything all together and have some type of, maybe a short concrete list of to-dos, something very simple and basic during this time that will allow you to accomplish what you need that's specific. Like 1, put the laundry in the washer. 2, send those 3 emails out. 3, vacuum the living room carpet. Because I feel like if Mercury has direct tasks during this time, I feel like you're going to be able to better utilize this energy. Otherwise, you may find yourself scattered all over the place emotionally, especially with Mercury sextiling Pisces. You may be feeling a little bit, Mercury sextiling Saturn and Pisces, but you may be feeling a little bit thwarted and thinking about things that have nothing to do with where you are right now. It's almost like daydreaming while you are in the middle of vacuuming and you forget that you have to finish vacuuming, or you're still on that same spot on the carpet and it's been 10 minutes. That's kind of like that. So I feel like having some of these concrete things in place is going to allow you to utilize this energy and simply get through it. Because Mercury, again, has a tendency to wander off, yet it's connected to the steadfastness, to the endurance of Taurus. So there's a reminder here of present-day reality check. On May 31st, Mercury in Taurus is conjunct Uranus in Taurus. Some astrologers point to Uranus being the higher octave or expression of Mercury. I'll leave it up to you, but there are similarities as there are distinctions. So expect on this day, and again, whenever I mention these alignments, generally perfecting on the days that I relate, many times you probably already feel this energy hours, days in advance. That's what I've tended to notice in connecting with people. Generally, they feel them early. If you haven't, you may actually also feel them late, like a delayed, delayed progression. And that's completely okay too, because everyone has different timelines. So you can expect during this time potent flashes of psychic and intuitive messages, hits, epiphanies, inspirations as well, that allow you to see things in a very different way or to realize new ways of seeing things. Mercury, again, rules over divination, occult, the astrology, secrets, mysteries, knowledge as well, and wisdom. So there may be a greater ability during this time to understand and dive deeper into these themes. It's almost as if you have a block. Let's say you have a block here, and I'm using this tarot deck as an example, and you've been looking at it from one side. All of a sudden, these epiphanies could allow you to see something else, another realm, another facet that you didn't consider before. Unexpected financial, business, travel, surprises, gifts, bonuses could come through as well. That's generally the positive support here. And also, too, because of this conjunction, there could be changes in financial, material resources. So think of this like a mini compressed, I feel, Mercury retrograde energy as well, because this conjunction, Mercury and Uranus, could affect technology as well, could affect computer, communications, commerce, travel, anything with numbers, mathematics, when you have to think about it, or doing some type of accounting work, for example, something that requires precision. Also in your body, you may be feeling more anxiety, more nervousness, restlessness, almost as if you got electrical currents coming through you. I also feel like messages, people, and conversations that come to your awareness during this time are going to be key, because they may mean something. So think about it in the preceding days and also in the proceeding days and afterwards, because you may see some things that are pinging to you with similar themes. This is also the time to tap into your own creativity and see what is calling to you and what is coming through you, especially things that differentiate you from the pack, that say, oh, I want to explore that, but you may be fearful because you may say, well, no one's doing this, but you may get something very inspiring or inspirational and very creative to follow through on. On June 6th, Jupiter in Gemini trines Pluto, currently retrograde in Aquarius. So Pluto here is forming a superior trine to Jupiter in Gemini. So generally, we could say here Pluto's having more of an impact. But regardless, there's some connection here with the trine. So there's a lot of reformulation happening, rethinking, reassessing, reflecting, more introspective energy at this time. When it concerns our social connections, perhaps the way we're learning, what we've learned, the way we want to continue amassing knowledge and the different topics associated with that. The longevity commitments concerning relationships are also key here, because I feel like, and I mentioned this, I think, in last week's weekly energy forecast, I feel like the way we are doing relationships, the way we are thinking about love and what that means and connections in general with groups, communities, and individuals, they're changing based on social and emotional connections, cohesiveness, intellectual stimulation, but also values. With Pluto, we may be thinking deeply about what is true for us in relationships, what matters to us in our connections with friendships, especially with Gemini ruled by Mercury. It tends to be more platonic, brotherhood type of energy. But I'll leave it up, especially with Pluto. You could be thinking about all relationships at this point and thinking about who is going to support me and come with me on this journey, who may offer something deeper at this time that you may really long for, and also who is willing to grow with you in this time. Because with Pluto, again, I call it like a mini bulldozer energy or a wheel where it moves slowly. And if you're under that wheel, you're going to get smushed. And Pluto tends to destroy. And once it goes over, it's time to rebuild. So I feel like there are going to be very transformative opportunities happening, particularly when it comes to relationships, but also in any Jupiterian themes. Our belief systems, our philosophies may be more expansive during this time, where we are completely opening up new ways to thinking, unconventional ways to thinking, particularly with Gemini. Avant-garde, I would say, a little bit different, and maybe more socially inclined. Maybe it's a little bit more about not always having a goal or an answer, but simply exploring things for the sake of exploration. I also feel like our relationship to growth, and I mentioned this, expansion and beliefs, spirituality, wisdom, is positively impacted by the decay, death, and evolution of these processes themselves. So there's an expansion here. As we expand, we need to let go. On June the 2nd, Mercury in Taurus forms a sextile to Neptune and Pluto. So this heightens our energetic sensitivities for those of you that are more sensitive to the collective consciousness, to the energies around you, regardless of how the astrology may affect you personally. You may be feeling a whole lot in the preceding days, especially on this day, and even afterwards. I feel like this is almost as if that psychic veil is getting thinned out here. And this is just symbolically. There's a porousness here. I feel like your psychic and intuition are going to be on high alert. You may be receiving a lot of messages and knowings and clarities, particularly through the emotional realm, think Piscean. But with Mercury too, it could be through different ways that you communicate or receive this. So it's going to be different for everyone, but it could be in the form of relating to other people, communicating in simple talk or discussions. It could be through learning, through teaching, through taking some type of learning workshop, course, that kind of thing. But Mercury here can represent trickster, deceptive energy, delusions as well. Neptune as well can also represent fantasies, not always the good kind, but the fantasies we create in our head. And sometimes we think that they're real and they're true, and then we look out and we're like, oh crap, it's all in my head. It could also represent delusions, illusions, and a feeling of porousness again, of no boundaries. So the sextile isn't always positive. I didn't intuit it in this way precisely and completely. And I feel, again, good, bad is all relative. There's always something we're learning in either or. But I feel like it does lend to a harmonizing effect here, and how we use this energy is going to be a different story. So Mercury does have reception and ability in Pisces. And the higher octave of this alignment could see us really tapping into intense creative and imaginative streams coming through. psychic and intuitive messages, of course, whether that's honing our own psychic and intuition, I should say our psychic gifts, abilities, and intuition, and also the reception of what's coming through, the channels, what we're receiving. Relaxing and enjoying downtime as well. This gives a very, I would say, idleness, a very creative time to lean back, but not just do anything, not do nothing about it, but receive the information and then say, okay, how can I express that in a way that is going to deliver some type of message or maybe offer healing. This is also a great time for socializing or getting together with others, because I feel here you can connect and receive things, because a lot of times when we are connecting with other people, we're doing it in the form of enjoyment, of pleasure, of fun, and many other values, because we like hanging out with these people, hopefully. But a lot of times afterwards, we may realize, wow, I learned a lot of things about myself and others today through our interactions. Also, romance is highlighted here, especially with the Taurian and Piscean influence. So any romantic themes, whether it's simply taking care of yourself, maybe writing in your journal or expressing yourself in a creative way, or connecting to people. The lower octaves, I feel, could see us not seeing someone or a relationship, for example, or even a communication, misinterpreting it, misunderstanding it, essentially not seeing something for what it truly is. So it may seem like we are deciphering a puzzle, or we're not understanding something, or something's not clicking, or there may be a level or a fog of deception present. The Taurian energy here is keeping things grounded, but with the Venusian lunar influences coupled with the Piscean, particularly Jupiterian, since Jupiter rules over Pisces, traditionally, we may ignore red flags. So I want to say caution here, especially since there's a lot of energy around spirituality, the psychic realms and other realms. Caution with any charlatans, anything that seems too good to be true, or promises where you're like, wow, this is amazing. Hearing what you want to hear, not what you need to hear, something that also came up. Seeing things with rose-colored glasses and overindulging to escape. Okay, coming up next week, we have Mercury conjunct Uranus on the 31st of May as we end the month. Let's get into the tarot and see what additional messages, what else do we need to know for this final week in May. Okay, one card turned over. Got 3 cards. We got the Emperor, Aries energy. This is fire. 9 of Swords, Air, Gemini, Aquarius, Libra. 3 of Cups, Water, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Wow. I feel like some of you may feel overburdened or may have a lot on your mind right now that is either causing anxiety, keeping you awake, or it could be producing that Uranian energy like a bolt, where you may be feeling unsettled or just thinking about everything that's churning in your world. You know, when you have just a lot to do and you're wondering how you're going to get it done, and you may be replaying it, you may be trying to figure things out. For some of you, I feel like you may be feeling in your body a little bit restless and feeling like, how do I explain this? Like something is opening up to you, something's trying to get your attention, and you're feeling restless because you're feeling like, I know something's coming, something's changing, or something is off, and I don't know what. And a lot of times we feel it in our body first before we actually see the manifestation of that in our present day. And you may be feeling that anxiety beforehand, almost like your body is alerting you, like a timer. You know, when you cook food in the oven, you naturally start seeing the countdown if you take a look at it. Some of them may have noises related to them or vibrations. But some of you, I feel, are just doing a lot. And in the Gemini season, it's really easy to become scattered. And we're winding down with this energy. Well, at least in May, we're not winding down yet with Gemini season, but there could be a scatteredness coming through here. That's why this week, I kept channeling that song. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. So there may have been things that you thought you saw one way and you understood, and you may be realizing, oh my gosh, I missed it. I missed the boat. I missed that point. I completely misread that conversation or that relationship, right? It's like saying, I think someone really had feelings for me, and really they didn't. And in your head, you're creating a different picture. And another, you could have misread an email where you thought someone was offering you an opportunity when in reality they were turning it down or something like that. So just be perhaps extra cognizant, take greater time to mindfully go through anything mercurial during this time. Communications, chats, emails, anything written. If you have to study for something, double check it. If you're feeling doubts of anything, consult a trusted friend and ask them, hey, take a look at this. Am I seeing the same thing? Am I reading into this the same way? What do you think? Because I feel like for some folks, there could be an increased anxiety, lack of rest. This could cause essentially sleepless nights, and also a lot of mental anguish, restlessness, inability to really take that energy back to yourselves and allow yourselves to get rest. There's a lot of taking on things this week that may not be yours, because you see even the emperor's balancing things, and you know the higher expressions of the emperor could be showing up as a leader, being very resourceful, responsible, and getting stuff done. But with the 9 of Swords here, I feel like some of you may have taken on too much, or may have taken on something and realized after the fact. I wanted to say post facto. Is that even a word? After the fact, that you may be thinking, why did I say yes to this? Or why did I see it this way and it's not happening in this way? It may present some challenges to you, because you may find, I'm getting that with the mountains here, because you may find, I want to back out from this. I want to change my mind. I'm not sure what to do. But I see here with the 3 of Cups, I feel like things are going to be resolved. I feel because of the Gemini energy, a lot of times we have a tendency to overthink, to overanalyze, and to keep things in our head. So it's almost like churning butter, but it's up here. And we hold on to it and think that everything is going to operate in the way that our mind is going. And sometimes we feel like that's it, it's a dead end, there's no other opportunities. But with the 3 of Cups, I was going to say especially with communication, but we've got water here. I feel like the key to this all is really, and this may be because we got swords here, is to be very vulnerable and open and very honest and share what you're feeling, because I feel it's not the logical part that's going to help. It's your feelings, the emotions, that's going to help you find a solution this week. Unburden yourself and just be honest. It really pays a lot when you're trying to either back away, change things, or simply maybe apologize, or try to extricate yourself from a situation that you're like, I don't want to be in this, or you're finding that you misread something, or there's some confusion and you're finding the clarity now and you're seeing it and you're like, oh crap. Simply sharing how you felt and saying with honesty, it says so much, versus trying to make up some type of BS story. People feel that and it's inauthentic. So tap into that. I feel like support, whether your friends, your family, someone that you support, if it's someone professional, could come in handy this week. That could also offer that emotional support for you. And I feel a resolution. We've got Ace of Discs at the bottom. Discs are Earth Pentacles. Duality. Total Gemini energy, you guys. So I do feel like this is an opportunity. Perhaps it's offered an opportunity for you to learn something different, but also an opportunity for you to forge ahead and to express those emotions, especially as we navigate closer to Cancer season. We're going to pull an animal spirit oracle, final message, and see anything else we need to know. 2 just fell down here. Okie dokie. Oh, I heard cooperation. Expressing yourself fully will help with any cooperation with others, especially if this entails something more of a group dynamic, community, or more than one person, obviously. There's support, I feel, that's coming. Sharing is caring. That's what I heard. You know when you think something is going to turn to shit or you think you've messed something up? When you are able to express your emotions, because the anxiety of the what ifs, because then we start creating a lot of scenarios in our head, that's what gets us into trouble and creates this energy. But sharing how you feel, I feel, in this case, in whatever situation that pops up, just sharing your truth, your humanity in itself is really going to be the key. Okay, the animal spirits. We got hawk, messenger. Spirit is sending you messages. Oh yes, he confirmed, or she. And by the way, I use pronouns interchangeably, not really to denote gender. Open your greater vision to see the signs. Focus on priorities and eliminate distractions. You have a bright future. Let yourself ascend to new heights. Some of you may connect with this bird, with the hawk, as your spirit animal. Birds in general represent messages, so very synchronistic. It has arrived in time during Gemini. And your second spirit animal, sea otter, happiness. And these look like puffins. I'll show you in a sec. Be the master of playful living. Release expectations and enjoy everyday life. Let worry go, and instead choose love. Surrender to the waves. Your good destiny of love is sure. Here are the puffins. I believe they're puffins. If anyone's a puffin expert or bird, let me know. Hopefully I got that correct. And the otters. So I feel like joy and play is really going to help you navigate this process. Again, synchronistic, huh? You all, thank you so much for being here. I'm really grateful for you all. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Did this resonate with anyone out there? I hope this has helped. I'm wishing you a beautiful end of the month. Stay strong, play, lean into joy, and have a beautiful week ahead. I'll see you soon.